We're live inside the Sullivan Center on the campus of the University of St. Francis here in Joliet, Illinois. Thanks for tuning in to today's CCAC basketball matchup between the Fighting Saints of St. Francis and the visiting Cardinal Stritch Wolves. Terry Bonadonna with you for the call for today's game. Saints come in at 8-15, losers of 4 in a row. They are 5-9 in conference. Cardinal Stritch 13-11. They have won their last 2 games, improving their record to 8-6. In the conference season. We're ready for the tip. Saints in white, the Wolves in black, and it's won by Ian Morrison of St. Francis. Fighting Saints going from right to left on your screen here in the first half. It's Ian Morrison in the post, turning around up with the left hand and not getting the roll on the first possession for St. Francis. It's Cardinal Stritch basketball, led by their point guard, Frederick Benson. He's joined in the backcourt by Carlos Knox. The forwards are Dave Malachnik, Nemanja Knezovic, and Damian Stone King. This is Carlos Knox with the ball right now and passing it off to Benson. Frederick Benson with a Z drives to the left hand down the lane, going up against Antonio Hughes, bounced outside. That's Knezovic for 3, a little bit too strong, rebounded by Pietro Badalassi. It's Terrian Howard, Jordan Thornton, and Antonio Hughes listed as guards for Ryan Marks today. The all-Australian front court features Pietro Badalassi and Ian Morrison, who's got the ball right now. Morrison double team, kicks it outside to Thornton. Right back down low to Morrison. Ian Morrison battling in against Stone King and putting it up and in with the right hand. Ian Morrison coming off of one of the best games of his career on Saturday. Scored 30 points in a loss against Roosevelt. He's got the first 2 points of today's game as the Saints are on the board first. Carlos Knox looking for the lead. Can't get it. Misses the three-pointer, and the rebound is chased down by Badalassi. This is Antonio Hughes racing into the defense and then pulling back. Saints will slow things down. Terrian Howard over to Jordan Thornton. Back to the point guard, the junior Terrian Howard. Looking for the screen from Badalassi, didn't get it. The shot clock is down to 7. Howard picks it up, bounces low to Badalassi, turn around along the baseline, now out to Thornton. 2 seconds to shoot. Jordan Thornton throws one up, and he didn't get it off in time. Shot clock violation, good defensive possession for Cardinal Stritch, and the Saints recognized the clock. They just couldn't get anything going towards the hoop there, and they turned the ball over. Cardinal Stritch basketball. 18-13 to play in the first half. Second meeting of the season between these two teams. Saints were victorious up in Milwaukee last month. Benson passes it up top to Dave Malachnik and gets it right back. Now on the right wing, this is Knox. Bouncing off to Benson. Nice find. Stone King throws it down underneath. Good ball movement by the Wolves, and they tie the score up. It's 2-2, just over 2 minutes in. Jordan Thornton up top. Lobs it at the elbow to Badalassi. Pietro Badalassi bounces low to Morrison. Morrison up with the left hand, no. And Morrison's been the primary scorer for St. Francis in recent games. A little slow to start today's game. He's 1 of 3 from the field. All of those shots coming from inside the paint. Here's a drive. Knezovic extended the arm. That's a clear offensive foul. Ian Morrison takes the charge. And it's a turnover committed by the Wolves. 17:23 to play first half. 2-2. Both offenses a little bit slow to get started in this game. It's the first foul on Nemanja Knezovic and the first foul of the game. Terrian Howard walks it off to the right side. Over to Badalassi, to a cutting Thornton who lays it up and in. Nice feed, and Jordan Thornton finishes strong. Saints back on top, 4-2. Benson against the double team, bounces off to Malachnik, and Malachnik will pull it back up top. Here's Malachnik on the drive to the right side. Down into the corner. Malachnik dribbling all over the place, finally gets rid of it to Knezovic. Malachnik looking low to Stone King. He got it to him, but Stone King camped out in the paint a little bit too long. That's a 3-second violation, and Cardinal Stritch turns it over again. Slow going offensively for Stritch. They've turned it over on their last 2 possessions. 4-2. St. Francis holds the early lead. They've got the ball back here as Cardinal Stritch makes a substitution. Jed Lashinsky is into the game for Damian Stone King. There's a deep 3. Terrian Howard knocks it down. St. Francis, not a good three-point shooting team, just 29% overall. Terrian Howard at 32%. That one from long range, but he's able to hit. a 5-0 run for St. Francis and a 5-point lead. Benson thought about the shot, now will drive on Howard instead. Kicked outside. Here's Knox on the drive. Knox going up over Morrison, gets the roll. Ian Morrison held his ground. Carlos Knox was able to run right into the lane and get around him. Pietro Badalassi at the elbow, fakes the pass, now dribbles it down low, up with the right hand and in. This little hook shot there from Pietro Badalassi, and St. Francis off to a good offensive start here, 9-4, just over 4 minutes in. Winged into the corner, Malachnik. Malachnik along the baseline, kicks it to the opposite side, and Knezovic out to Knox for three. Knox hits the three. Carlos Knox, an excellent three-point shooter, missed on his first couple attempts, but not by much. That time he is able to hit, and the Saints lead is down to 2. Terrion Howard over Antonio Hughes. He'll try a three. That one well short, and rebounded by Benson. Frederick Benson across half court. Moves by a couple of defenders, finds Leshinsky inside, and Leshinsky draws the foul. 15-16 on the clock. Ian Morrison picks up the Saints' first foul. Jed Leshinsky, freshman from Poland, at the free throw line. He's the first man off the bench today. He started 5 games this year. Came in about 2 minutes into this one, averaging 2.5 points per game. And an air ball on the first free throw. Not a bad free throw shooter, 72% for the season. Well, he missed that one badly as Ian Morrison checks out. Garrett Jackson comes in, the first substitute of the game for Ryan Marks. And Cardinal Stritch brings on Austin Lee for Dave Malachnik. One of 2 from the line. It's a 1-point game. Here's Jordan Thornton. Guarded on the outside by Frederick Benson. Gets the screen, moving to the right. Now he steps inside the three-point line, fires up a jumper, no good, and the rebound is secured by Knezovic. Chris Stovall passes off to the left side. Down low, this is Leshinsky. Benson on the drive. Kicked out to Austin Lee. Lee cuts inside, ball knocked away from him, out of bounds. 14 on the shot clock. Still Cardinal Stritch basketball. They'll inbound from the baseline. Chris Stovall to be the trigger man. Lobbed in for Leshinsky and handed off to Benson. Down low, Stovall. Underneath the basket, it's Knezovic putting it in and giving Cardinal Stritch their first lead of the game. It's 10-9. Nemanja Knezovic, the team's leading scorer, around 15 points a game, has his first 2 of tonight. Antonio Hughes working his way between a couple of defenders, gets to the hoop, but can't finish. Rebound to the Wolves, and they're moving the other way quickly. Benson gets it to the elbow and passes outside to Stovall. Free throw line, it's Nemanja Knezovic. He'll try the jumper in the face of Pietro Badalassi and knock it down. 8 straight points for Cardinal Stritch. They lead 12-9, 14 minutes to play, first half. Terrion Howard dribbles towards the left wing, guarded all the way by this fellow number 1, Chris Stovall. Antonio Hughes back in the midcourt circle. Here's Terrion Howard, 13 on the shot clock. Howard looks for Badalassi, he's got him in the post. Badalassi turns to face the basket, drives baseline, leans and puts it in. Nice shot by Pietro Badalassi from about 8 feet out. 4 points for the junior forward. Saints are back within 1. Good to see Badalassi back in the lineup after he missed the last 3 games, making an impact early in this one. A couple of rebounds and assists, and now 4 points. Knezovic catch and shoot, the three-pointer misses short, rebounded by Jackson. Saints can reclaim the lead this trip down the floor. Jordan Thornton driving around Knezovic to the basket, lays it up and in from the left side, and the Saints do indeed move back on top. 13-12 our score, 7 minutes in. This is Stovall. Stovall hassled by Terrion Howard. Finally gets it away. Leshinsky at the left elbow. Passes back outside Benson. 12 to shoot. It's Benson at the top of the key. Driving and kicking to Knezovic. Benson passes outside Austin Lee. 5 seconds. Lee drives baseline, lays it up and in. teams trading baskets the last few times down the floor. 1 point game. Quick start to this one. Just 2 total fouls have been called through the first nearly 8 minutes. Badalassi against a double team. Gets it out to Terrion Howard. Thornton, right wing, deep three, good. Second three-pointer made by St. Francis in the game. Both of them from way out there. One from Terrion Howard, one from Jordan Thornton. That ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Cardinal Stritch after the timeout. 12 minutes to play in the first half. And I'll step aside for a quick moment. Back shortly. Saints 16, Wolves 14. Eight minutes gone in the game. It's 16-14. St. Francis over Cardinal Stritch. Saints shooting very well to begin the game, 58%, but surpassed by the Wolves. They're 6 of 9 from the field so far. Cardinal Stritch has not missed from inside the three-point arc. They're 5 for 5 on 2-point shots. Good start for Jordan Thornton, 7 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Pietro Badalassi, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist through the first 8 minutes. For Cardinal Stritch, Carlos Knox has hit a couple of jumpers and has 5 points to lead the Wolves. Cardinal Stritch basketball, they had it knocked out of bounds on an inbounds play just before the timeout. So inbound from the corner here, just 1 second off the shot clock, going up against the Saints full court press, and Dave Malachnik beats it no problem. They'll set up the half-court offense now with Chris Stovall driving, tripping, and losing the ball. Terrion Howard scoops it up. Now Howard flying down the floor. It was 1-on-3. He wisely pulls up and passes out to Ryan Peter. Peter and Hayden Witt in the game off the bench now. There's a lob down low for Witt. Didn't have positioning, so he kicks it out to Terrion Howard. Howard misses on the 3, and the rebound goes to Damian Stone King. Saints come up empty on that trip. Carlos Knox for Cardinal Stritch. Off to Malachnik. Stovall on the right wing. 14 to shoot. Here's Knox, long 3. Too strong, rebound, tipped around. Hayden Witt battling for it, but it's taken away by Dave Malachnik. And the Wolves will reset the possession here. Knox against a double team low. Hayden Witt put his hand on the ball. We got a tie-up. Nice play by Witt. Ball will stay with Cardinal Stritch, but no foul called, and now the possession arrow gets to flip. The Saints will get the next one. Brett Risley is into the game for Jordan Thornton. He gets his first rest. Terrion Howard, the only starter still on the floor for St. Francis. Pass goes in to Knox, quickly sent off to Austin Lee. Wanted the shot, well defended by Risley. Inside Stovall, he's blocked, but a foul is called. Foul coming up against St. Francis. It'll be just their second, and it's called on Ryan Peter, his first. This sends Stovall to the free throw line for 2 shots. Chris Stovall, just a 56% foul shooter, and you can see it right there. Not a good looking shot. Wolves just 1 of 3 from the line, and both misses have been bad misses. They are not a good free throw shooting team. 66% overall. They've gone 1 of 2 on each of their trips to the line today. 16-15, 11 minutes to play in the first half. Terrion Howard walking along the sideline. Ryan Peter on the wing. Peter holds, gives it back to Howard. Now left side. This is Risley giving it up to Peter. Peter for 3, in and out. Garrett Jackson going for the rebound, pushed from behind, and a loose ball foul is called on Cardinal Stritch. That's Carlos Knox's first foul. It's just the second on the Wolves. Not a lot of fouls early on in this game. Ian Morrison comes on in place of Garrett Jackson for the Saints. And after a short rest, Nemanja Knezovic is back in there for the Wolves. Hayden Witt in the paint, kicks it outside to Howard. Risley to Morrison. Ian Morrison backing down on Stone King. He goes up, but traveled. Traveling violation called on Ian Morrison. And the Saints turn the ball over for just the second time in this first half. Back to the full court press. Malachnik trapped in the corner, but he gets rid of it to Knezovic. And the Wolves break the press. Knox flying into Hayden Witt. He travels. Knox just going a little bit too fast for his own good there. Second consecutive traveling violation. One called on either team. And St. Francis takes the ball back, up by 1. Terrian Howard walks it across the timeline. Passes off to the left side. Ryan Peter. Here's Hayden Witt. Over to Risley. Risley thought about the long three. Instead, he lobs it down low to the big man, Ian Morrison. Morrison going to work against Stone King, and an offensive foul called on Ian Morrison. Damian Stone King did a little acting right there and got the call. As Ian Morrison initiated the contact, and it's the second foul on Morrison. That one hurts. So another turnover, back-to-back turnovers for St. Francis after they had committed only one through the first 9 minutes. Cardinal Stritch down by 1. They could reclaim the lead right here, though. Malachnik down into the corner for Knox and thrown away. Knezovic lost the ball. Ian Morrison comes up with a steal. Here's Howard taking it into the defense, and he's fouled by Malachnik. Terrian Howard will head to the free throw line for 2 shots. Third foul on the team. It's the first on Dave Malachnik. Terrian Howard, an 89% foul shooter, heads to the stripe. First shot is good. (17-15) St. Francis. 4 points for Howard, make it 5. The 89% shooter does not disappoint from the line. He's up to 90% for the season now. Here comes Cardinal Stritch, trailing by 3. And Brett Risley jumps into the passing lane, knocks that one away. Ian Morrison picks up the loose ball. Here's Terrian Howard off to Risley on the left side. Down low to Hayden Witt. Witt back out to Risley, fakes left, drives right, little floater, good. Nice drive and shot by Brett Risley. He's got his first 2 points. And the Saints have matched their largest lead. It's 5. Benson off to the right, Malachnik. Here's Knezovic. Slow start for Knezovic. But he's got the ball in the paint right now, going up against Hayden Witt, up with the left hand and rolls it in. I spoke too soon. 6 points now. He does lead Cardinal Stritch. Had a big game last week, 22 points and 6 rebounds in a tough win as Ian Morrison fights his way to the paint but misses a little bit short on the shot. The rebound goes long and finally secured by Malachnik. Stone King backing down on Morrison, gets around Morrison to the hoop and in with the right hand. 4 straight points for Cardinal Stritch, and they're back to within 1. Damian Stone King's got 4, averaging 10 points per game. It's a good balanced attack. They've got 4 guys averaging 9 points or better. And so far in today's game, they've got 3 guys with at least 4 already. Morrison backing down on Stone King, trying to turn around on him, using his head. He misses on the shot, gets his own rebound, and lays it back in. Nice persistence, Ian Morrison. He's got 4 points, and the Saints' lead is back up to 3. Benson down into the corner for Carlos Knox. Lob no for Knezovic. Knezovic going up against Morrison, and there's an offensive foul. And Ian Morrison does a little acting. Both centers doing a good job early in the game of taking the charges. That's the way the officials are going to call it. Take that contact, hit the deck. That's what we've seen so far. It's a turnover and a foul. First foul on Knox. Howard off to Risley. Here's Ryan Peter. Tarian Howard on the right wing. Howard backs it out, now steps in and finds Witt down in the corner. Long two from the baseline, no good. Soaring for that rebound, Austin Lee. Benson over to Jarique Walker, right back to Benson. Benson on the drive, kicks it out to Malachnik. He'll try the three over Hayden Witt. Misses it short, rebound chased down by Benson. Fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock for Cardinal Stritch. This is Malachnik driving to the right side, pulling up, fadeaway over Witt. A little bit too strong that time, and the rebound is tapped out to Walker, blocked by Witt. Loose ball picked up by Tarian Howard. Howard moving quickly and now backs it out. Ryan Peter looking around, finds Witt on the right. He gives it up to Tarian Howard. 6.5 minutes to play in the first half. It's the Saints by 3. Morrison in the post on Stone King. Pulls up in the lane and passes back out to Risley. Risley drives. Turnaround jumper for Brett Risley. Rattles home. 4 points for Brett Risley, who entered play today, averaging 0.8 per game. That made just 3 field goals all year. He's had a couple of impressive jumpers in this game. 4 points for Risley, and Cardinal Stritch calls a 30-second timeout. Saints lead back to 5. This match is their largest to date. 6:09 to play in the first half. Saints have slowed down a little bit. Both teams have slowed down a little bit from the field, but both sides still shooting 50% or better. They both got off to scorching starts. Problem for Cardinal Stritch early on, turnovers. Saints have taken the ball away 7 times already in this game. St. Francis, for their part, has only committed 3 turnovers. 3 of those 7 turnovers for Cardinal Stritch came on St. Francis steals. Ian Morrison's got 2 fouls, and he moves to the bench. Garrett Jackson back in the game. Antonio Hughes, Jordan Thornton, Pietro Badalassi also out there, along with Brett Risley. This is Austin Lee for the Wolves, giving it up to Dave Malachnik. Left side, Jarique Walker. In the corner, Malachnik, 10 on the shot clock. Here's Benson, handing it off, Malachnik, deep 3, good. Cardinal Stritch moves within 2, just the second made 3-pointer in 7 attempts for Cardinal Stritch today. But a big one. Turns a 5-point game back to a 2-pointer. Saints will try to extend it on this possession. Jordan Thornton. Back to the midcourt circle, and Antonio Hughes. Lob low for Badalassi, and out of his reach, it hit the baseline out of bounds.
There's a media timeout.
Media timeout, 5:15 to play in the first half. St. Francis 24, Cardinal Stritch 22. Take a short break, be back in a moment. Good start for St. Francis, a team desperately in need of a win here. Saints were an even 5-5 in conference, but have lost 4 in a row. Some winnable games in there. The toughest one to take was a week ago at Trinity International, a tough 87-86 loss. They find themselves today 2 games outside of the conference tournament with 5 games still to play after today, so 6 total, including this one. It doesn't get any easier after this. They go to Governors State for their next game. Governors State 13-1 in conference this year. So this is a game they need to win, and they're off to a good start, leading by 2. Cardinal Stritch breaks the press here. Cardinal Stritch sitting in pretty good position at 8-6 in conference this year. They've got a little bit of a cushion at the moment, but not comfortable. A lot of teams bunched up there, trying to improve their standing with a win today at the struggling Fighting Saints. Tariq Walker drives on Jordan Thornton. Throws up a crazy shot off the backboard. No good. It's hard to tell if that was a shot or a pass, but where it landed, you have to think he was trying to put it in. Garrett Jackson over to Antonio Hughes. Hughes sends it up top, Jordan Thornton's way. Garrett Jackson hands it back to Thornton. Thornton on the drive is bumped, and a foul is called on the floor. Just the 5th foul on Cardinal Stritch. It's on Tariq Walker. He checks out. Frederick Benson back in. Carlos Knox in as well. Here's Brett Risley to inbound it. Risley playing some big first half minutes today. Sent in for Jordan Thornton. This is Hughes. Antonio Hughes surveying the court. Now off to Pietro Badalassi for 3. He hit it. Another reason it's good to see Pietro Badalassi back in there. Guy who has significantly improved his three-point shot as the season has gone on. He's now 7 of 15 in that department. Majority of those 7 makes have come in his last 3 games. Three-pointer in the corner. Austin Lee responds. Back to within 2. 27-25. Saints have led by 5 points 4 different times in this game, but have never been able to extend the lead further than that. Jordan Thornton across to Pietro Badalassi. He'll try another 3, and he hits another one. Pietro Badalassi now 8 of 16 on the season from beyond the arc, and the Saints are 4 of 7 shooting 3s in the game. There's Jordan Thornton picking up a foul. Jumped in on Carlos Knox trying to take the ball away, but he got too much of the body from behind. First foul on Thornton, and only the 4th on the team with 3:26 to play in the half. Hard to fault Thornton for that one. It's not a whole lot of risk in picking up the foul because it is just the 4th. Malachnik ahead for Austin Lee. Lee sends it into the corner. Carlos Knox for 3. Off target. Rebounded by Antonio Hughes. Knox struggling with his shot a little bit. Usually a very good three-point shooter. Here's Jordan Thornton stepping into a 3 and hitting it. 5 3-pointers here in the first half for St. Francis on just 8 attempts. That ball deflected up in the air, but Damian Stoneking comes down with it underneath the basket. He's able to lay it in. So the game-high lead of 8 now cut down to 6. Thornton, nice find down low, bounces it to Garrett Jackson. Jackson having some trouble though. Now we got to travel. Jackson was double teamed. Damian Stoneking put his hand on the ball. Jackson took a big step before going up. He thought he was fouled. Somehow Stoneking ended up on the ground on that play, and he's hobbling towards the bench. He's going to have to check out. They'll bring Jed Lashinsky back in. Dave Malachnik will try to get it in against the press. Benson back to Malachnik. And they'll walk it down the floor. Uncontested. 6-point lead for St. Francis. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Cardinal Stritch works the ball around the perimeter. This is Benson down into the corner for Knox. Fired into the other corner, Malachnik. 7 to shoot. Austin Lee drives down the lane. Layup. Yes. Nice drive by Austin Lee. Got himself an open lane down low. He's able to lay it in. 7 points now for Austin Lee off the bench. 4-point game. Jordan Thornton races into the corner and fires up a wild jumper. Probably not the greatest shot selection there and unable to connect. Malachnik into the corner, Knox. 3-pointer. Short. Rebounded by Badalassi. Carlos Knox, 39% shooting from 3-point range on the season. Today's just 1 of 5. Here's Terrion Howard for 3. Rims out. And rebounded by Lashinsky. Wolves work the ball quickly down the floor, but St. Francis does a good job of retreating on defense. So now the Wolves have to set up their half-court offense. It's Benson. Down low to Knox. Knox against the double team. Garrett Jackson put his hand on the ball, and we've got a tie-up. St. Francis possession arrow. A minute 13 to play in the half. Tyler Matson comes off the bench for Cardinal Stritch, as does Connor Lemons. A little extra defense on the floor here for the final minute. Tarian Howard taking the air out of the ball a little bit. Off to Garrett Jackson on the right side. Jackson gives it to Jordan Thornton, and Thornton backs up. Now making a move. Thornton's step back jumper is good from the elbow. Hot shooting start for Jordan Thornton. 12 points for him. 40 seconds to play in the half. Benson is bumped by Jackson. It's his first foul. Still just the 5th on the team. So Cardinal Stritch will not get free throws out of this. 36 seconds left.
His first, team's 5th.
Cardinal Stritch will inbound from the sideline. Well, officials have something to discuss first. I'm not sure they got the foul on the right guy here. They call it on Badalassi. Looked like it was on Garrett Jackson. Ryan Marks is arguing right now, saying that was on his center. It's the first foul on either guy, and they are going to give it to Badalassi. He must have reached in somewhere that I didn't see. I thought that was clearly on Jackson. Maybe the foul was away from the ball. Regardless, the foul goes to Pietro Badalassi, and we're ready to continue here. Malachnik sends it over to Matson. Down in the corner, Benson. It's outside for Lemons. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Malachnik on the drive. Pull-up jumper is good. Dave Malachnik creating something out of nothing there. It looked like Cardinal Stritch didn't have anything going on that possession. 10 seconds to play in the half. Saints will get the final shot here. 7 seconds. Jordan Thornton taking his time with 5 seconds. Thornton walks it to the three-point line. Fires the long-range jumper. No good. Rebounded by Malachnik, and that ends the first half of basketball. Good start for St. Francis today. Hot shooting start. We'll see if they can keep it up in the second half. And a big conference game for the Fighting Saints. They lead 35-31 at the half. We've got 20 minutes of basketball still to come, but first, we've got a 15-minute break. So I'm going to step aside. I'll be back around 7:50 here Central Time to bring you the second half. So stick around. A lot of good basketball still to come. Saints lead by 4. Halftime here at the Sullivan Center, but we're just about a minute away from the start of play once again. 35-31, St. Francis leads Cardinal Stritch. Terry Bonadonna back with you for another 20 minutes of basketball. Saints have led this one most of the way. They were tied early 2-2, and there were 4 lead changes, but of the 20 minutes in the first half, 16 minutes and 20 seconds were led by the Fighting Saints, who have shot the ball well, 52% of the first half of play. Cardinal Stritch shot it a little bit better, actually 57%, but in what has been a rarity for the Fighting Saints, they've kind of controlled the game from the three-point line. 50% on long balls. They're 5 of 10 from beyond the arc, 9 of 17 from inside the arc. Pietro Badalassi, the star of the game so far, 10 points on 4 of 4 shooting, along with 3 rebounds. Jordan Thornton off to an excellent shooting start, 12 points on 5 of 8 from the field. Surprisingly, the Saints have held the lead most of the game without really getting any contribution from their regular star player. Ian Morrison, just 4 points and 1 rebound in 9 minutes of action in the first half. Cardinal Stritch, true to form, they haven't had any one man ahead of the pack. Austin Lee is their leading scorer at 7 points, but they have 5 players with 5 points or more. That's kind of the way that they do it. Very balanced offensive team. The regular leading scorer, Nemanja Knežević, is going to be the inbounder at the start of the second half here, and he gets it in to the backcourt to Frederick Benson. We are underway. Two teams, of course, have switched sides. Cardinal Stritch going from right to left now for the second half. Three-pointer, Carlos Knox, no good. Knox just 1 of 6 from beyond the arc today. Saints basketball, it's Terrian Howard. Passing off to the right side, Antonio Hughes. Now down low, Ian Morrison going up against Damian Stoneking. Turnaround jumper, no. Rebound tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Cardinal Stritch. Morrison, a 60% shooter on the season, just 2 of 7 from the field today. Going off of a 10 for 15 30-point performance on Saturday. Terrian Howard receives the pass. Out to Antonio Hughes. Into the corner, wide open Jordan Thornton. Can't hit on the three-point attempt. The rebound goes to Frederick Benson. And off to Carlos Knox. Now Stoneking near the free throw line outside Malachnik. Stoneking back out to Malachnik for 3. Off the mark, rebounded by Antonio Hughes. A minute in, neither team has scored yet in the second half. Terrian Howard races by a couple of defenders, high off the glass, lays it in. Nice drive by Terrian Howard. He's got 7 points. Fighting Saints lead by 6. Their largest lead of the game has been 9. Hughes knocks that ball out of bounds. He thought it was last touched by Cardinal Stritch. Not the case. St. Francis's largest lead has been 8 rather than 9. There was a change, by the way, at halftime. Not sure if this is going to have a huge impact on the game. Probably not, but there was a foul late in the first half that was charged to Pietro Badalassi. It looked like it should have been called on Garrett Jackson. It was changed and given to Jackson during halftime. So Pietro Badalassi now playing with 0 fouls. Inbound pass goes to Benson. They seemingly break the press. Carlos Knox just barely saves that one from going out of bounds. Lost control of the ball for a moment. It was tipped away from him. Knox gets it back, fires a 3 from the corner. He misses. Looked like he may have hit the shot clock, but they did not call it out of bounds. It's rebounded by the offense, and Malachnik puts it back up and in. Cardinal Stritch may have caught a break there. I thought that ball was out of play. Should have been a dead ball. Maybe not. Refs had a better angle of it than I did. Jordan Thornton down into the corner for Hughes. Down low to Morrison, double teamed. Ian Morrison fires it across to Thornton. Howard, down low. Badalassi, nice pass to Morrison. Great ball movement by the Fighting Saints, and Morrison puts it in. He's got 6. Frederick Benson backing down on Thornton. Out to Knežević, 3-pointer short. And a loose ball foul is called on Antonio Hughes. That's his first. It's the team's first as well. 17:37 to play, second half. 39-31. Saints have matched their largest lead of the night.
First personal.
Saints have led this one ever since a Terrian Howard three-pointer made it 18-16. Or rather made it 16-15 back in the first half. They have extended their lead to 6 points. I said 8 a moment ago. The scoreboard here said 39-31. It's actually 39-33. Here's Stone King up over Morrison and in. Damian Stone King's had a nice game. 8 points. He left late in the first half with an apparent injury, but okay to continue, which is good news for Cardinal. Stritch, good news for Stone King. This is Morrison going up against Stone King. Dueling number 42s. Morrison leaner, no. Offensive rebound. Pietro Badalassi. And a tie-up as Benson reached his hand in there, but the possession arrow faces St. Francis. Austin Lee scored a team-high 7 points in the first half. He's back in there now for Cardinal Stritch. Nemanja Knezovic to the bench. Thornton looking in for Terrian Howard. Down into the corner, back to Thornton. Quick passes. Howard for three. Good. Terrian Howard from the outside. Made a double figures, the third Saint to reach 10 points in the game. Now the lead is 7. Antonio Hughes jumps the passing lane but can't keep it on his side. Carlos Knox scores and a foul. Nice defensive play by Antonio Hughes, but it actually ended up benefiting Cardinal Stritch because Hughes trying to save that ball. Sent it right back to Cardinal Stritch, and Hughes had taken himself out of the play, so it became 5-on-4, and Knox was able to get himself a clean look at the basket. Now at the free throw line, Knox has 7 points, looking to make it 8. He does. So that's 8 points for Knox. That's a team lead. Broke a three-way tie at 7. Ian Morrison on the outside. Gives it up to Howard for 3, a little bit short. Offensive rebound. Antonio Hughes gets it going again. Hughes on the right wing. Looking low for Ian Morrison. He overthrew him, intercepted by Knox. 4-point lead for the Fighting Saints. It's Malachnik. Just over 16 minutes to play in the second half. Knox up top to Lee. Malachnik on the left side. Shot clock is down to 9. Malachnik finds Lee once again. Cardinal Stritch has to hurry a little bit. Benson steps back behind the line. Now he drives to the right side. Banks it. No. Rebound Badalassi. Jordan Thornton puts the ball behind his back and loses it. Benson dives on top of it. And Travis. Wasn't a whole lot Benson could do with that ball once he was lying on the ground with no teammates anywhere near him. Good defensive play, but was not able to turn it into a transition game. So a new possession for the Fighting Saints as Pietro Badalassi gets set to push the ball back into play. Chris Stovall, excuse me. And for Cardinal Stritch. And Carlos Knox heads out. Terrian Howard across the timeline. Bounced over to Antonio Hughes. In the corner, Jordan Thornton. Here's Morrison to Badalassi. Left side, Terrian Howard. Down low, Morrison. Backing in. Morrison stripped from behind, and a foul called on Benson. Morrison was hacked a little bit by Benson there, very physical. And then late on the play, Ian actually threw an elbow himself, but the foul had already been called on Frederick Benson, his first. Here's Jordan Thornton. Nice move to get inside, now back out. Pietro Badalassi poked away from behind. Badalassi gets it back, drives, lays it up. No, but a foul. Pietro Badalassi's having a nice game. Remember, the Saints had been playing much better basketball. They had won back-to-back games against Indiana South Bend and Judson, and then in a loss to St. Xavier 2 weeks ago, Badalassi got hurt, missed the last 3 games. All of them losses. Makes the first free throw here. Now he's back in the lineup, and you see what a difference he can make. Having a big game today. And the Saints have a 5-point lead, partially as a result. Ryan Peter, Garrett Jackson in for Antonio Hughes and Ian Morrison. And Badalassi knocks down both free throws. 12 points for the junior. Austin Lee gets across half court. Over Christoval. Free throw line, Malachnik. Malachnik dribbles once to his right, passes outside to Lee. Lee pulls up, baseline jumper, well short, air ball, rebounded by Peter. Tarian Howard bounces it down the floor to Jordan Thornton. Thornton is hit on the floor. Foul called against Cardinal Stritch. 14:42 to play. Second half, 6-point lead for St. Francis, and a foul called on Christoval. Stone King and Knezevich back in for Lee and Nico Trevica, who was out there briefly, didn't get a touch when he was on the floor. And Hayden Witt will come in for Pietro Badalassi for the Saints. Thornton lobs it in for Tarian Howard. This is Ryan Peter up to Hayden Witt. Witt squares it up, decides not to shoot, passes off to Jordan Thornton left side. Thornton steps into a three-pointer, knocks it down. Jordan Thornton's having one of his good nights, 15 points. And he's now hit from three times. Stovall shoveled underneath the Stone King, can't finish. Howard got in his way, but a loose ball foul called on Hayden Witt. Damian Stone King might have one of the better names I've seen this year, in particular for a big 6'8" bruiser down low. That time he was shaken off the shot by 5'4" tall Tarian Howard. But got his own rebound and was fouled by Hayden Witt. So now the inbounds play to Knezevich. Knezevich over Jackson, scores with the left hand. Nice move by Nemanja Knezevich. The lead had been its biggest of the game at 9, now down to 7. Thornton down low to Jackson. Garrett Jackson bounces the ball a few times. Turnaround jumper, can't get the roll. Rebound tapped, out of bounds. Last touch by Cardinal Stritch. Wolves basketball underneath. 13:53 to play. And we got a timeout. Take a quick break here. St. Francis 47. Cardinal Stritch 40. Back in a minute. St. Francis 47, Cardinal Stritch 40. 13 minutes, 53 seconds to play in the game. Saints have shot well today, still at 50%, and 50% from the outside as well. 7 of 14 from three-point range. It's been a huge difference in this game for a team that typically struggles from beyond the arc. Cardinal Stritch, on the other hand, usually a pretty good three-point shooting team, just 3 of 13 in today's game. Jordan Thornton inbounds to Hayden Witt, back underway. This is Thornton in the corner, bouncing down low to Witt. Witt loses the ball as he runs into Nemanja Knezevich, but gets it back. Thornton for 3, no. The rebound out to Ryan Peters. Saints will start over. It's their third chance on this possession. Although this possession has been split up a little bit by a timeout. Tarian Howard dribbles to his left. Howard Spins around and fires to Thornton. Thornton, little runner is good. Jordan Thornton's got 17. The lead is back to 9, and there's a steal. Jordan Thornton has it, falls to the ground, and a timeout called by Ryan Marks from the sideline. Thornton was on the ground but still in possession of the basketball when Ryan Marks signaled for that timeout. It was granted, and St. Francis will keep the ball with 25 seconds on the shot clock. 13:10 to go in the game. 30-second timeout. Jordan Thornton now 17 points in the game on 7 of 12 shooting. Talk about it all the time. Thornton's a guy who, when he gets hot, can carry the team. Just put him on his back and take him to a win, but he hasn't gotten hot all that often recently. Just 36% shooting for the season, 27% on three-pointers today, 7 of 12 overall, 3 of 6 beyond the arc, and they've needed him to step up because they have not gotten big production today from their leading scorer, Ian Morrison. Came in averaging just under 16 points per game on 60% from the field. Today, Morrison just 6 points on 3 of 9 shooting. And on the bench coming out of the timeout, it's Jackson, Witt, Howard, Thornton, Peter. And Jordan Thornton will inbound. He gets it to Hayden Witt. Witt spins around a double team. Suddenly there's nobody there. Jump shot is good for Hayden Witt, and for the first time today, the Saints have a double-digit lead, 51-40. Carlos Knox beats the press this time. Over to Austin Lee, down low Damian Stone King, easy layup, but he missed it. And he gets his own rebound and tips it in. Damian Stone King has 10. He is the first Wolf in double figures. They've got 4 players, though, with at least 7 points. Terrion Howard bumped down the drive. He'll go to the free throw line. Howard's had a good game, 10 points so far. And a chance to add 2 more here. He's already 2 of 2 from the line, a 90% shooter for the season. That foul was called. I'm not sure who they gave it to. 4th of the half on Cardinal Stritch. First free throw is good for Terrion Howard. Brett Risley in for Jordan Thornton. Foul's called on Jarique Walker, and that's his first. Make that his second. Howard hits both free throws. 11-point lead again for the Fighting Saints. Stone King gets the pass inside, lays it in, and draws the foul. Saints press has done some very good things today. But on these last few possessions, it has led to easy baskets for Damian Stone King. It's the second on Hayden Witt, 4th on the team. There were only a grand total of 10 fouls called in the first half. There have been 8 so far in the second half. We're only 7.5 minutes in. Ian Morrison back in for Garrett Jackson. Morrison's the only player on the Saints prior to Hayden Witt just moments ago with 2 fouls. So now both their big men on the floor have 2. Free throw misses from Stone King, rebounded by Brett Risley. Witt over to Howard. Down along the baseline, it's Ian Morrison. Morrison working on Stone King. Fadeaway jumper blocked by Stone King. Comes down with a rebound. Damian Stone King's doing a really nice job on Ian Morrison today, keeping him in check. 3-point attempt, right side, good for Austin Lee. And the Wolves are back within 6. Austin Lee's got 10. Howard directing his teammates and now dribbling to the left, bounces to Ian Morrison. Morrison hands it back to Howard, who thought about the 3. Instead, he'll drive. Back out to Hayden Witt. Witt will drive. Witt to the hoop, lays it up, in and one. Big time drive for the senior Hayden Witt. He looked into taking that 3-pointer, put the ball on the floor instead, and it works out pretty well for him. First foul called on Damian Stone King, 5th on the team. Hayden Witt now at the free throw line. Witt missed the shot. It's a lane violation as well. He recognized that he was short on that one and came flying in looking for his own rebound way too soon. Still a 2-point play for Hayden Witt. He's got 4 points in the game. Saints lead by 8. Malachnik ahead to Carlos Knox. Knox has had a very quiet day. Lost control of the ball, but got it back. Gave it over to Malachnik. There's Malachnik on the drive. Scoop shot, no. Battle for the rebound, won by Risley. He and Hayden Witt nearly got into it there. Same team. Lob down low for Morrison. He flies up for it, but can't get the shot. Out to Risley instead. His three-pointer misses. Rebounded by Knezovic. Stone King over to Malachnik on the right wing. Into the corner. Knox thought about taking another three. Instead, it's inside to Knezovic. Short-range jumper. Rolls in. Nemanja Knezovic has 10. Here's Risley. Just a 2-possession game now. Cardinal Stritch hanging in there after the Saints had built their lead up to 11. Terrion Howard trapped, and he loses the ball out of bounds. That's a turnover. Cardinal Stritch takes possession. Pietro Badalassi back in for Hayden Witt. Badalassi's had a really nice game. He's got 12 points so far tonight and 5 rebounds. Frederick Benzin. Moving off to Carlos Knox, back to Benzin. Benzin, a nearly 10-point per game scorer. Nothing on the board yet tonight, but he finds Knezovic down in the corner this time, and Knezovic hits the three. It's just a 3-point game. Cardinal Stritch is getting hot, as is Nemanja Knezovic. He's up to 13 points for the game. Ryan Peter holds it for the Fighting Saints. Peter dribbles it up top and bounces to the left side. Terrion Howard for 3. Too strong. The rebound is pulled in by Jed Lashinsky. Cardinal Stritch could potentially tie the score here. They just need a 3-pointer. Baseline, it's Lashinsky. Back out and up top to Benzin. Shot clock down to 15 seconds. Game clock under 10 minutes now. Knox to the left and Benzin. Benzin is fouled by Brett Risley. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Benzin was just dribbling around the perimeter. You don't like to see that foul there, but tough break for the Saints. Shot clock resets to 20. Risley and Howard check out. Antonio Hughes, Jordan Thornton are back in. 3-point game. Cardinal Stritch trailing, but with the ball. Malachnik over to Knezovic. Into the corner for Benzin. Benzin steps once over to Carlos Knox in the corner. He misses another 3. Long rebound though to Benzin. And the Wolves will try again. Benzin step back jumper, 2-point range. Bounces around, no good. Badalassi seemed to have that rebound, but he couldn't secure it. It rolls out to Knox, and Knox is fouled going to the hoop. To the free throw line goes Carlos Knox, 55-52, 9:07 to play. Cardinal Stritch is on a roll here. St. Francis has gone 4 minutes without scoring.
His third personal, team 6.
Their 11-point lead is down to 3. And a chance to make it 1 from the line here. Knox misses the first free throw short. Free throws continue to be a problem for Cardinal Stritch. Knox is 74% shooter. The team this season, though, at just 66%. And today, they are just 3 of 7 from the line. And there's your difference in the game. 1 of 2 for Knox. Saints, meanwhile, have not missed from the free throw line. There's a steal, and Malachnik puts it in to tie the score, 55-55. It's an 8-0 run for Cardinal Stritch, and another steal. Benzin lays it in. The full court press working wonders for Cardinal Stritch, and Ryan Marks needs a timeout. 57-55. Cardinal Stritch holds the lead for the first time since it was 14-13 back in the first half. Now it's 57-55. They're on a 10-0 run. And turnovers on back-to-back possessions have killed St. Francis. The Fighting Saints had only 6 turnovers in the first half. Check that, they only had 5 turnovers in the first half. They've got 6 so far in the second half. And it's been a killer for St. Francis over the last few minutes. It's a 10-0 run for Cardinal Stritch. It's a 15-2 run. They're now outshooting the Fighting Saints 53% to 49. We'll see if the Saints have another run in them right here as the clock runs down under 9 minutes to play. St. Francis trying to snap their season-long 4-game losing streak. Game they need to win as they battle for a spot in the conference tournament. Just 5 games left after today. Pietro Badalassi on the right wing. Looking down low for Ian Morrison. He can't get him. Instead, Badalassi puts it on the floor, drives and scores from the left side. A beautiful drive-in layup for Badalassi. And now the Saints put on the press and force a tie-up. Ryan Peter reached his hand in. It's still Cardinal Stritch ball, but that'll reverse the arrow. 57-57. Prior to a moment ago, the only time this game had been tied was at 2. Tied at 55, and now we're tied at 57. Cardinal Stritch basketball. 3 seconds gone off the clock on this possession. And a Malachnik, and this time no trap from St. Francis. Malachnik will walk it across half court. Here's Benson, handing it off. Malachnik around to the left side. Knezovic. Malachnik into the corner. Benson scored his first 2 points of the game on the last possession. Misses this time. Offensive rebound. Knezovic, who throws it up off the glass. Actually, it was off the shot clock, which is out of bounds. It was deflected by St. Francis. So the ball stays with Cardinal Stritch. The shot clock, though, does not reset. It's at 4 right now as the Wolves will inbound it. Benson looks like he's shaking out that left hand. I'm not sure he jammed it on. He'll stay in the game. Just trying to get some feeling back in that left hand. And it seems like he's going to stay in the game, and he will. He'll inbound. Bounce down low to Stone King, who scores off the inbounds play. Too easy for Cardinal Stritch. Stone King's got 14. Jordan Thornton to Pietro Badalassi, left side, Antonio Hughes. On the right wing, it's Ryan Peters. Shot clock down to 13. Jordan Thornton on the cut. Thornton fades away as he throws that one off the glass. No good. Offensive rebound. Morrison blocked. Rebounded by Carlos Knox. Morrison continues to have trouble inside against Damian Stone King and company. Malachnik. Down to Benson. Cross court, Knezovic for 3. No good. Rebounded by Hughes. Antonio Hughes on the run. Hughes gets inside. Layup. Yes, we're tied at 59. Timeout called by St. Francis. It's a full timeout as they have knotted up the score. 4th tied today. We've seen 4 lead changes, or 5 lead changes rather. And most of them either early or just over the last couple of minutes. St. Francis led 53-42. Cardinal Stritch went on a 15-2 run, but Fighting Saints seem to have righted the ship a little bit. They're now 7 of 17 shooting 3-pointers in the game, still well above their season average, and not a bad number at all, 41% for the game, but they were 7 of 14, so they've missed their last 3. And 3-point shooting really has been the difference throughout this game. St. Francis had built up that big lead because of their outside shooting. It was during the last time out, I think I mentioned they were 7 of 14. Cardinal Stritch just 3 of 13. Since then, the Saints 0 of 3. Cardinal Stritch 2 of 4. And Stritch has gotten themselves back in the game. Jordan Thornton leading the way with 17 points today. Pietro Badalassi has 14. Terrian Howard 12. For Cardinal Stritch, Damian Stone King has 14. Nemanja Knezovic 13. Austin Lee has 10. And a pair of players are sitting on 9 points right now. Cardinal Stritch trying to win their 3rd straight game. St. Francis trying to avoid their 5th straight loss. Prior to this current losing streak, they had neither won nor lost more than 2 games consecutively all year. Suddenly they find themselves in a big hole with the 4 straight losses. This is a game they really have to win today because they're going to have their hands full on Saturday at Governor's State. Figure to have any chance in making a run here, they'll have to go minimum 4-2, probably 5-1 to give themselves a shot at the CCAC tournament. Top 8 teams qualify. Out of the timeout, it's Carlos Knox giving it to Frederick Benson, who gets across half court. Benson on the outside. Gives it off to Malachnik. Benson again on the right, drives and kicks to Knox. Down into the corner, Knezovic. 9 on the shot clock. Malachnik tries the 3 over Howard. Rims out, rebounded by Badalassi. So the Saints can reclaim the lead here. Badalassi to Thornton. Jordan Thornton looking around, finds Badalassi at the top, and they move it around the perimeter. Antonio Hughes here, 12 to shoot. Hughes dribbles inside the three-point arc, now drives to the left side, leans towards the basket, tries to bank it home, but can't. It's rebounded by Damian Stoneking. So out of the timeout, both teams come up empty on their first possession, and we remain tied, 59-59. Just over 6 minutes to play in the game. Jumper is good for Knezovic. Nemanja Knezovic has 15. Cardinal Stritch back in the lead. And starting to get late here. Saints looking to go on a run. Terrian Howard around the screen from Badalassi, pulls up, passes to Badalassi. Badalassi takes a dribble in, nice pass to Ian Morrison. Second time that Badalassi's been able to do that today. Get inside, draw the defense's attention, and make a nice little shovel pass to Ian Morrison, who's now got 8 points for the game. 61 all. Knezovic down low. Stoneking draws the foul and scores. Ian Morrison jumped on his back as he put that one up, and Stoneking's got a chance to make it a three-point play. That's the 4th foul on Ian Morrison. 5:14 to go in the game. That's a big one. Damian Stoneking now has a team-high 16 points. He has had a big day down low. Not only does he have those 16 points, he's also got 6 rebounds, and perhaps most importantly of all, he has really shut down Ian Morrison, who has not been able to get into a rhythm at all tonight. Just 4 of 12 from the field, when guarded by the Wolves' big man. Stoneking's free throw misses, so it remains just a 2-point deficit. This is the largest deficit that St. Francis has faced today. They've faced it a number of times. They've never been down by 2 possessions. Ball wrestled away by Benson and knocked out of bounds. Howard let it go. He thought Benson was the last one to touch it. Apparently Pietro Badalassi last had his hands on the ball. And Cardinal Stritch takes over. They've got a chance here to take their first 2-possession lead of the night. Benson dribbling to the left side. Spins around Terrian Howard, gets down the lane and pulls it back out. Into the corner, Malachnik. Malachnik drives baseline. Kicks it out to Knezovic. Knezovic beneath the basket. Malachnik misses. Stoneking with the follow, scores, and a foul. Damian Stoneking taking over this game right now. 65-61. Stoneking's got 18, and he's back at the free throw line, where he has not looked good today. But another chance at a 3-point play. 67% foul shooter, air ball. He has looked really good in every phase of the game except for one. He's looked really bad from the line. 0 of 3 on free throws. The Saints trail by 4. It's the first time all game that they have not either had the lead or had the chance to take the lead on a possession. Ian Morrison gives it up to Jordan Thornton. 8 on the shot clock. Step back jumper for Thornton. He misses. It's tipped by Knox. And the Wolves are on the run again. Knox gets the bounce pass from Frederick Benson. Stone King underneath, gets around Morrison, but he traveled in order to do it. 3:59 on the clock. It's a turnover. And the Saints need to come up with something here. It's been a while. 2 minutes since their last points. Ian Morrison down low, double teamed out to Howard. Howard fakes, and he's fouled on the floor. Just the 6th foul on Cardinal Stritch. So they've hit their limit, but that one will not send Howard to the free throw line. The next one would. Thornton inbounds it to Howard. And Howard lobs it to Ian Morrison, high post. Hand off to Howard, pull-up jumper from the elbow is good. Saints back within 2 as Terrion Howard hits another deuce. He's got 14 points. Malachnik on the run, pulls it back. Frederick Benson, junior from Copenhagen, Denmark, hands it off to Carlos Knox. And Malachnik back to Knox. Knox drives, gets inside, little contact, but no call, and he throws it straight out of bounds. He was looking to draw a foul there. When he didn't get it, he was out of position on the shot and threw it straight out. Timeout called by Cardinal Stritch. It's a full timeout called by the Wolves. 3:07 to go in the game. Credit to Cardinal Stritch. They fought back in this one. Saints led by 11 points in the second half. The lead didn't stick. A 15-2 run for the Wolves. Put them back in front. They've gone back and forth ever since. 5 ties, 5 lead changes in the game, and Cardinal Stritch has been up by as many as 4 here in the second half. They never led by more than 1 possession in the first half. Two teams have had very even games. 49% from the field for St. Francis, 52% for Cardinal Stritch. Saints a little bit better from the outside, 41% on the threes. Cardinal Stritch 28%. Both teams have turned the ball over 12 times. Both teams have 3 players who have scored in double figures. For Cardinal Stritch, Damian Stone King is the game's leader with 18 points on 9 of 12 shooting. For St. Francis, Jordan Thornton leads the way with 17 points, but he's gone cold. It's been a little while since we've seen him connect from the field, and he's missed on his last 3 shots. So we'll see if he can get going once again. Ian Morrison, the team's leading scorer for the season, who shoots 60% from the field on average. Today he's shooting just 33% from the field. He's also less than halfway to his season average in rebounds. 7.2 is where he's usually at. Today only 3. It's been a tough game for the big man. He's been bullied by Damian Stone King, and despite that, thanks to the works of Thornton, Howard, and Badalassi, among others, Saints have led most of the way, and they're still very much alive right now, down by 2 with 3 minutes to play. Howard trots across the midcourt line. He walks to the left side, passes to Jordan Thornton, now down low to Morrison. Morrison backing in against Stone King. And we've got a foul on the floor on Damian Stone King. That'll send Ian Morrison in the line for a 1-and-1. Just the second foul on Stone King. Morrison's got a chance to tie the score here from the free throw line. These are Ian Morrison's first free throws of the game. On Saturday, he went 10 of 14 from the line as part of his 30-point effort. Morrison hits the first. It's a 1-point game. Good free throw shooter for a big man. He's at 72% this year. He got them both. We're tied. Here's the full court press from the Saints. Benson gets it across to Malachnik. Malachnik gets inside, but Howard all over him and has to pass it back out. Knezovic gives it back to Malachnik, who sends the ball Benson's way, outside with 15 to shoot. Knezovic walks it to the top, into Malachnik. Malachnik throws it away. He was looking for Stone King underneath, but Antonio Hughes came away with the steal. Hughes bounces it to Jordan Thornton, and Thornton tried to lob it up for Ian Morrison, but it was deflected and taken away. On the other end, Knezovic all alone flushes it down for 2 more points. 67-65 Cardinal Stritch. Just over 2 minutes to play. Looked like the Saints were about to take the lead. Thornton down low, but a little indecisive with the ball. Ended up turning it over. Here's Hughes getting a nice cut to the basket. His layup is in. We're tied at 67. Beautiful drive by Antonio Hughes. He's got 4 points. Malachnik holds on the left wing. Passes back around. Frederick Benson. Benson thought about the 3, passed it up. Here's Malachnik, 8 on the shot clock. Benson down in the near corner. Up top, Malachnik finds an open shooter. Knezovic passes up on it. Stone King down low. Stone King goes up, draws the foul with 1 on the shot clock. Ian Morrison just picked up his 5th. What a great possession for Cardinal Stritch. They run the whole shot clock there, can't find anything, and finally at the very end, they get it to their big man down low. Stone King not only gets himself to the free throw line, but he forces Ian Morrison out. Morrison will finish the game with 10 points. Tough night from the field, just 4 of 12. And Garrett Jackson will come on in place of Morrison. If there is a silver lining here for the Fighting Saints, it's that Damian Stone King has struggled mightily from the free throw line. Senior from Woodstock, Illinois is 0 for 3, and his 3 misses have all looked bad. Last one was an air ball. Bo with the game on the line here, he hits on the first. Cardinal Stritch back in front, 68-67, 1:21 to play in the game. And he hits them both. St. Francis needs a bucket here, now trailing by 2. Terrian Howard walks it to the left. Over to Jordan Thornton. Thornton dribbles right side. Throws one up, no good. Badalassi battling for the rebound, but he can't secure it. Nemanja Knezovic comes away with it, but it's off of Carlos Knox's foot and out of bounds. Knezovic threw it ahead to Knox, who was a little bit too quick for it. Passed slightly behind him, couldn't corral it, and it deflected off his foot and out. Saints ball down by 2, 1:03 to play, and they call timeout. Saints again have led this game most of the way. They were up pretty much the entire first half, and then early in the second half they extended the lead to as many as 11 points. Cardinal Stritch came back furiously. They went on a 15-2 run, scoring 10 points in a row at one point. They took their first lead since early in the first half with 8:53 to go, and since then neither side has led by more than 4. So it's been a true back and forth affair. Ian Morrison is out of the game for St. Francis. He fouled out on the last defensive possession. So that one hurts right now as they trail by 2 with the ball. He had not been shooting it well, but just a force inside that Cardinal Stritch defensively really had to respect. So getting the ball down to him, even when he's not scoring, sets up opportunities for other guys. Now you're working with Garrett Jackson as your center. Jackson has not scored tonight. As far as guys who are on the floor, Jordan Thornton got off to a great start in today's game. First half and early in the second half, he was knocking down everything, but he's missed on his last 4 field goal attempts. Terrian Howard, Pietro Badalassi each have 14 points in the game. So we'll see who Ryan Marks goes to in this situation. 2-point game with 1:03 left, so it's not as though if they don't score, the game's over, but I feel a lot better if they put the ball in the basket here. This is Garrett Jackson. Jackson bounces outside to Terrian Howard and gets the screen going to the right side. Thornton on the wing. Back to Howard. Shot clock at 15, game clock to 45. Howard around the screen, drives, gets inside, lays it up, blocked by Stone King. Ball up in the air, Antonio Hughes picks it up, 6 to shoot. Thornton, three-pointer is blocked. Ball batted around and Stone King pulls it in. Missed opportunity for the Saints. And now just 4 seconds differentiate the shot and game clocks. Timeout called by Cardinal Stritch. Saints don't need to foul here, but if Cardinal Stritch is able to run the shot clock down and score, this game is essentially over. So Ryan Marks has a decision to make. It might depend on who has the ball in their hands. Remember, Cardinal Stritch is a bad free throw shooting team. Frederick Benson, just 66%. Damian Stone King, 67%. He looked really bad from the line earlier in the game, but he made the 2 shots on the last possession that made it 69 to 67. Carlos Knox and Manja Knezovic are both good free throw shooters. The worst guy on the floor is Dave Malachnik, just 52%. So it might be a case where they look to foul one of those guys, Malachnik or Stone King or maybe Benson. You got a little room to play with here because there are 27 seconds left. 4-second difference means that if you don't foul, obviously first and foremost they want to go for the steal. The fouling scenarios that I'm mentioning are if they're not able to come up with a steal. If you don't foul, then you will likely get the ball back, but probably with under 10 seconds, maybe under 5 seconds left. And again, if Cardinal Stritch is able to run the shot clock down and score, the game's over for all intents and purposes. So a tough spot for St. Francis to be in. They got 2 shots off on their last possession. Both of them were blocked. And so they remain down by 2 as Cardinal Stritch looks to get the ball in. Malachnik is the inbounder. He finds Stone King, and Stone King is immediately fouled by Jordan Thornton. 25.6 on the clock. And Stone King back to the line. That is the 10th team foul, so it is 2 shots here for Stone King. 2 of 5 from the line tonight. And he misses the first one short, so even if he makes the second, we're still looking at a 1-score game as Garrett Jackson checks out and Hayden Witt comes in. Stone King now just 2 of 6 from the line tonight. He's got 20 points, and he misses on the second free throw. So it's a 2-point game. 22 seconds left. St. Francis ball. Here's Terrian Howard. Howard dribbles to the left, guarded by Benson. Clock down to 15. Hayden Witt. Back to Howard. Saints want to move quickly here. They want another chance if they don't make their first shot. Well, the clock under 10 seconds now. Howard back to Jordan Thornton. 6 seconds. Thornton drives, gets into the lane. Reverse layup, misses. Stone King comes down with a rebound. Thornton rips it away from him. Shot at the buzzer. Got it! Jordan Thornton hit the shot, fading away on the baseline at the buzzer to tie it up, and we're going overtime. The shot counts for Thornton. A wild fadeaway jumper to tie the game at 69 and extend it for a few more minutes. He just barely got that ball out of his hands in time. Crazy finish to regulation. We're going to go to overtime. I'm going to step aside for a moment. We'll be right back with a few more minutes of basketball. (69-69) at the end of regulation. Jordan Thornton missed the reverse layup with just a few seconds left, but then came up with the biggest play of the game. He ripped the ball out of the hands of Damian Stone King. Threw up a no-look rainbow shot from the baseline and got it to fall as the clock expired, tying the score 69 all and sending this one to overtime. 19 points in the game now for Jordan Thornton. Now we've got 5 minutes on the clock. Garrett Jackson going up against Damian Stone King on the jump ball. Remember, Ian Morrison has already fouled out. Jackson wins the tip to Jordan Thornton, and the Saints will get the first chance here in overtime. Thornton up top. Over to Pietro Badalassi. He's had a nice game. 14 points, 7 rebounds so far. Badalassi hands it off to Thornton. Jumper from the elbow. A little bit too strong. Battle for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds. Saints ball. Saints giving it their all right here. They need this win. Near miracle. Sent it to overtime. Now we'll see if they've got what it takes for another 5 minutes. Thornton in the corner. Over to Howard, deep three. No good, but we've got a foul. We got a foul away from the ball. Dave Malachnik, no, excuse me, they call it Nemanja Knezovic, his third. He fouled Garrett Jackson, so Jackson goes to the line for a 1-and-1. Jackson hits the first free throw. Saints lead for the first time since the 8:53 mark of the second half. It was 55-53. Jackson hits them both. They led pretty much the entire way up to that point. Cardinal Stritch went on that 10-0 run, 15-2 overall. Take the lead, and this is the first time the Saints have taken it back. Here's Benzin on the right side. Lobbed in for Damian Stoneking. Nice move around Jackson, but he can't finish. And Garrett Jackson comes away with the rebound. Here comes Terrian Howard. Into the corner for Thornton. Antonio Hughes crosses over down the lane. Hughes to the hoop, draws the foul. Stone King called for his third foul. And Antonio Hughes is going to the free throw line. Hughes is 71% foul shooter. 4 points in the game. And he hits on the first. 3-point lead for St. Francis. Hughes hits them both. Saints 4 for 4 from the free throw line here in overtime. Free throws have been the difference in the game today. Saints have been lights out. Wolves have had some trouble. Benzin drives the right side. Kicks it out into the corner for Malachnik. Stripped by Badalassi. Malachnik gets it back. Finds a streaking Knox, who sends it out to the right side. Open three. In and out for Benzin. Rebound to Hughes. 4-point lead for the Saints, trying to add to it here. It's Terrian Howard backing out, driving the baseline, kicks it into the corner for Thornton. Thornton, the runner, no. Rebounded by Cardinal Stritch. 3:20 to play in the game. This is Benzin with 13 seconds to shoot. Benzin flings it into the corner. Knox for three. Short. Gets his own rebound. Gives it up to Stone King. Now opposite corner. Knezovic. In and out on the three. Another offensive rebound. Malachnik back up and in. First field goal of overtime belongs to Cardinal Stritch. Knox, though, really having trouble from the outside as he missed another three. He is now 1 of 9 from beyond the arc in the game. Hughes, left side, gives it off to Badalassi. He fakes, now drives, and Badalassi is bumped down the ground. Double bonus now for St. Francis, and that's the 4th foul on Nemanja Knezovic. So that's 2 marks against Cardinal Stritch. Badalassi gets 2 free throws, and Knezovic is up against the limit. First free throw good. Saints are 13 of 13 from the line tonight. The Wolves are 6 of 14. And Badalassi keeps them perfect. 14 for 14, including 6 of 6 in overtime. St. Francis calls a full timeout. 4-point lead, 75-71, 2:29 to play in overtime. So we're a halfway through this overtime period. The Saints have not yet made a field goal, and yet they've built a 4-point lead thanks to 6 free throws, 2 apiece for Badalassi, Hughes, and Garrett Jackson. Saints led most of the way. Cardinal Stritch came roaring back, took the lead with just under 9 minutes to play in the second half, and two teams went back and forth after that. The game was tied 7 times in the last 9 minutes. And the final tie of regulation was the most thrilling. Damian Stoneking had a chance to put the game away on the free throw line for Cardinal Stritch, but he missed both shots. St. Francis got the ball back. Jordan Thornton drove to the basket, missed on a layup, ripped the rebound away from Stoneking, and then a turnaround fadeaway shot from the baseline. Just an incredible shot. Went down as time expired to send it to overtime, and so far overtime has pretty much been controlled by St. Francis, which is odd to say considering, again, they haven't made a field goal. But they've gotten themselves to the line on 3 of their 4 overtime possessions. Meanwhile, Cardinal Stritch, just 1 field goal so far in the overtime. And they come out with St. Francis in a full court press. The Wolves are able to break it. Knox thought about the 3, but thought better of it. Benson back to Knox, intercepted by Thornton, who can't keep it in bounds. Still, nice defensive play by Jordan Thornton. Cardinal Stritch will have to reset with 20 on the shot clock. Benson walks it to the right wing. Now up top, Carlos Knox. Malachnik looking for help at the elbow. He finds Knezovic. There's a drive, layup. No, can't quite get the roll. Rebound tipped around. Finally, Stoneking pulls it in. Out to Knox for 3. He misses again. 1 of 10 from beyond the arc for Carlos Knox. Pietro Badalassi takes it down the floor for St. Francis. Head to Hughes. Hughes 2-on-1 to Jackson. Garrett Jackson is fouled. Fouled by Malachnik, who didn't like the call. But Garrett Jackson's going back to the free throw line. Second foul on Malachnik. 2 free throws coming up for Jackson. Garrett Jackson had just 12 free throw attempts this season coming into today. He's 3 for 3 from the line in this game. And 2 more shots right here. First one is good. Saints now 7 of 7 from the line in overtime. That's where all of their points have come from. Eight of 8. Jackson's got 3 of those, or 4 of those overtime free throws. 6-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Cardinal Stritch needs a bucket right here, and they're not going to get it. Intercepted by Badalassi. Lobbed down the floor for Thornton. Thornton out ahead of the pack. His layup is blocked by Malachnik from behind. What a defensive play by Dave Malachnik to keep the Wolves in this game. And now on the other end, Knox throws it away. Intercepted by Antonio Hughes. 2 straight possessions in which Cardinal Stritch has thrown the ball away. Nifty ball work by Terrion Howard, getting all the way down into the paint and getting fouled by Damian Stoneking. Saints have taken over the game here, and a chance to ice it away from the foul line. 4th foul on Stoneking. Howard will try to keep the perfection going from the line. He has not missed today, 4 for 4, a 90% shooter for the season. Why start now? 78-71. Saints have outscored the Wolves 9-2 in overtime, and they have not made a field goal. Howard makes them both. 79-71, a minute 10 to play. Cross half court to Malachnik. Pull up 3-pointer. Malachnik can't connect with the tip in. Stoneking scores. And a quick foul this time as Knox gets Terrion Howard. I'm not sure that's the way you're going to come back in this game right now if you're Cardinal Stritch. The quick foul on Terrion Howard, the best free throw shooter on the team, who has not missed one yet tonight. St. Francis took just 8 foul shots during regulation. This is their 11th of overtime in 4 minutes, and they've made them all. 80-73. I don't know that I've ever seen a team win a game in overtime without making a field goal in the overtime period, but Saints have put themselves in position to do that here. Final minute, it's an 8-point lead. 18 points now for Howard. Malachnik in the corner for 3. It's short, rebounded by Badalassi, and Badalassi is fouled. Pietro Badalassi, a 73% foul shooter.
That is his third personal.
He's got 16 points today, 4 of 4 from the line. The third foul on Frederick Benson. 51 seconds left now, and the Saints can take a double-digit lead if Badalassi makes these both. Got the first. Biggest lead of the game was 11. It was immediately answered with a 15-2 run for Cardinal Stritch to give them the lead, a lead they did not relinquish the rest of regulation. Badalassi misses the free throw. Oh, so much for perfection. They had been 20 of 20. Actually 21 of 21. Knox misses a three-pointer. Malachnik with a follow. No. Stone King, third opportunity. Yes, timeout called by Cardinal Stritch.
Cardinal Stritch. It is a full timeout.
Full timeout. 7-point game here. So Cardinal Stritch holding onto a faint hope. Now this game, if indeed the Saints do win, as they are in position to right now, will have been won at the free throw line. 21 for 22 on free throws, including 13 of 14 here in overtime. They have not made a field goal in overtime and yet have built a 7-point lead. Cardinal Stritch, meanwhile, just 6 of 14 from the free throw line today. They do not have an attempt in overtime. And they had 2 shots at the end of regulation with a chance to put it away and missed them both, allowing St. Francis to get the ball back and score those 2 points as time expired. 19 points today for Jordan Thornton, 18 for Terrian Howard, 17 for Pietro Badalassi. Ian Morrison fouled out. I thought he had 10 points when he fouled out, and that's true. 10 points for Ian Morrison when he fouled out. As for Cardinal Stritch, Damian Stone King leads the way with 24 points on 11 of 15 shooting, but again, just 2 of 7 from the free throw line. You hate to focus on that for a guy who's had such a great game. 24 points, 11 rebounds, but Cardinal Stritch can't come from behind here. 2 of 7 from the free throw line is going to loom large. St. Francis ball out of the timeout. Cardinal Stritch puts on the full court press. Badalassi looking around, finds Thornton, and Thornton is fouled very quickly. Malachnik didn't like the call, but they were probably going to foul anyway. That ball rolled away from Thornton to Terrian Howard, so it's not as though the Wolves were in position to get a steal. So Thornton back to the line, a good free throw shooter in general. Has not attempted one today. He hits on the first. 14 points from the line today in overtime for St. Francis as Jordan Thornton increases his total for the game to 20. Make it 21. Saints have matched their largest lead of the game, or rather, they lead by 9, 84-75. And it's thrown away. Jarique Walker throws it to Garrett Jackson. Terrian Howard gets it across half court, and Cardinal Stritch will foul there. Jarique Walker called for the foul, and Howard's going back to the line.
Foul called on number 25, Jarique Walker. That is his third.
Third foul on Walker. Jarique Walker came in during that last timeout. First time that Cardinal Stritch has made a sub in a long time. Mike Jaskolski's been running with his starters. They've been on the floor probably for about 15 straight minutes without making a sub. Austin Lee is in now as well. Howard makes the first free throw. This has been a very impressive game for St. Francis. They got off to a strong start, faded a little bit during the second half, but they came on strong at the end when they needed to. They made the clutch plays that they had to make. And now they do have that 11-point lead, which matches their largest. Saints continue to press, and Antonio Hughes is called for the foul. Bad foul with 23 seconds left. Hughes is saying he didn't really get him. He got all ball there, but there's no reason at all to reach in that situation. He's called for his fourth. Just keeping that very faint hope alive for Cardinal Stritch. First free throw is good for Benson. 7 of 15 from the line now for Cardinal Stritch in the game. Benson misses on the second. He gets his own rebound. Back up with it? No. And Garrett Jackson comes down with the board. Jackson throws it to Antonio Hughes. Hughes gets it across half court to Jordan Thornton, and now we'll see if Saints have a chance to just dribble out the clock. Doesn't look like Cardinal Stritch is going to try to foul. And that will end the game. The Saints come away with the victory. 86-76, the final score, and what a win for St. Francis. Down by 2 as the clock expired in regulation. Jordan Thornton made a miraculous shot to tie it up and send it to overtime. And then in a wild overtime period, St. Francis did not make a single shot from the field, and yet outscored Cardinal Stritch 17-7 to turn a 69-69 game into an 86-76 win. They went 17 of 18 from the free throw line in overtime. I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like an overtime like that before. To score nothing from the field, to score 17 points total though and win the game, pretty cool. St. Francis wins it 86-76. They snap that 4-game losing streak and keep their hopes alive to get into this conference tournament to be played in late February. Some of the totals from today's game: St. Francis shot 44% from the field, but more crucially, 96% from the foul line, 25 of 26. They made their first 21 before missing any, and then finished the game by dropping the final 4. They also shot 37% from the three-point line. Now that includes 5 consecutive misses to end the game, but still a much better shooting night than they have had recently. Cardinal Stritch, 46% overall. They struggled from outside, 5 of 25 on three-pointers. That includes 1 for 11 for Carlos Knox. And Stritch just 7 of 16 from the free throw line. That absolutely killed him. Leading scorer in today's game overall was Damian Stoneking, 24 points and 12 rebounds. For St. Francis, 2 players hit 20. Terrian Howard had 20 points thanks to 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Jordan Thornton, 21 points, including 3 three-pointers. Pietro Badalassi had 17 points, 9 rebounds. Ian Morrison had 10 points before fouling out in regulation. And Saints were able to dominate the overtime period even without Morrison out there. Nice win again. They improved to 9-15 overall. 6-9 in the conference. Cardinal Stritch falls to 13-12. Their 2-game winning streak is snapped. They fall to 8-7 in the CCAC. Tough one on the road coming up next for the Fighting Saints. They go to Governor State, 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. A big one for them. And then they go to Trinity Christian a week from today before their final 3 games will all be played right here at the Sullivan Center. You figure they need to go probably 4-1 over their final 5. That would put them at 10-10 in conference and give them a good shot to make it to the CCAC tournament. We'll see how things play out. First things first, and that's Governor State on Saturday. We'll see if they can ride the momentum from this win into that game against the 24th ranked Governor State, 13-1 in conference. It's going to be no picnic on Saturday. Should be a fun one just the same. It'll be fun here against Holy Cross on February 10th. That's the next home game for the Saints. Come on out and see it, or at least tune in right here through the St. Francis YouTube channel, accessible through GoFightingSaints.com. Our final score here in overtime: St. Francis defeats Cardinal Stritch 86-76. That's going to do it for our broadcast. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for University of St. Francis. Good night, all.